Soca, 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 sem nem ter preocupação. Ele te bota, soca, 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 sem nem ter preocupação.
Yo, what's going on there, commanders? Just a little city's thinking process, I guess you can call this video, rambling on with his thinking hat. Is it time to remove that fucking screamer out my base? I'll be glad when this unit's gone. This is one unit I didn't like from pretty much day one to this point right now. It destroyed PvP in my opinion, and it wasn't. It only destroyed PvP in my opinion because Kixeye put out overpowered air at the time, which they had to bring a counter out, and that was their first process, is the screamer. It should never have been a unit. It should have been a turret, but it's made them fucking bank. Listen to my thought process here before you go off on the deep end. I've still got it in my base right now, but once I get the lead storm upgraded, once I get some of these heavy turrets, my flak and my hunter turrets maxed out, and also the lead storm, I think that might be enough to counteract some of the other units. If we look at the air units we've got to fight against, because you've got to remember we have got the three series 1 air. I probably only consider 2 of them as PvP units once you've got that screamer out. But these guys, if you've got the Sentinels buff, can make a mockery of your base without the screamer in. They really can. The Dervish, the Doppler not so much, but again it's one of them units that you can probably send in one at a time and maybe pick off the mat if you're quick. I'm not too bothered about the Harbinger or the Shepherd at the minute until they bring out a new tech for them, a gold tech, diamond tech, whatever they're going to do. Not a big deal. The units that are the big concern at the minute are units that are not affected by the screamer, which is the Raptors, legendary Raptors with their new tech, and the legendary Titan. But I hope, but we have got another new air unit coming out in 8 weeks time, or whatever it is, 6 weeks time. It all depends on what that unit comes out like and how powerful it is as to whether it's got immunity to screamer. If we're going to start seeing all the units have immunity to screamer, its days are done. There's no longer a point using that, having that unit in our base. It's over and done with, thank the Lord, because it is one unit I detest with all my fucking heart. I am thinking about doing a few tests. I'm going to remove that one and that one out of my base too, and I am still in bubble protection, yeah, because I still need them in there for now. This one it frustrates the fucking hell out of me because the shot's always hitting behind the units now. The players are very quick on their toes, especially some of the younger guys that I'm going up against. They're a lot quicker than what I am in game. Their coordination and everything else. They're moving their units before I've got chance that shell even hits. It's long gone. Their units are gone before that fucking my nemesis is doing anything. Screamer, I'm glad it's fucking over with. I hope it's over with anyway. I truly hope this unit is gone out of the game for good, and Kixeye think of other ways to counterbalance the air. You know, there's got to be a yin and a yang. There's got to be a good reason to use air. But before now, the screamer was fucking horrible. All that time we put into upgrading our air. You look at all the recent air units, except for maybe the Harbinger, which wasn't a bad unit. You know, the screamer sort of affected that. I've lost my thought of track here. Or track of fault, whatever you call it. But yeah, I'm just glad that this, hopefully, fingers crossed, this is the end of the screamer. We can put that one to bed. We can move forward. I think for a more balanced game, the screamer made the game so unbalanced for me, and it's the high time we said our goodbyes, Ferio, and let it die a peaceful death. And I know I'm going to rub a lot of people up the wrong way with this, but I'm sorry, mate. When you're looking at the amount of units we've upgraded, amount of air units we've upgraded that are pretty much useless with the screamer in the base. So, with the screamer in the base, these are no good, all 3 of them. These were okay. This one not so much anymore. In its day, I am expecting a tech out for that pretty soon. a Mega Harbinger is still going to be a useful unit in my opinion. It's going to be, again, it's a clean-up unit. It's not a starting unit, which a lot of people use it for. The Phantom, sorry, needs a tech, needs a buff, big time. And then that can become a good unit, you know. They've made their coin out of that one as well. But yeah, it's all about this legendary Titan and the Raptors for me. They're not affected by the Screamer. I know people can attack me, and if they're coming in from any direction, they can get my CC, Matt, Screamer, and go bar with a Titan. If used correctly. That is a very, very important part of it. They've got to be able to use it correctly. But yeah, you can get a big chunk of a base out with just the Titan. And I have done it. I've done it on a video. I know the rest of the attack was poor, but the actual initial attack with the Titan, with me Eldivats, with the Proteus, it was textbook. And I'm just hoping for the day that we get to the point where we say, fuck the Screamer, it's gone, it's finished with, it was an after fucking fault, it was a very rushed out unit in my opinion. And Kixeye can there sort of balance the game around the new stuff that's coming in without having something that drastically reduces the viability of a unit to the point where it gets to the point where it's pointless using it. Literally, when I remember when Matt very first come out, he had massive splash. They've actually reduced that down over time. If you hit aces and things like that with low health, he smokes them in a bunch. But if you drop a Titan and a Shepherd, you generally, as a rule, you're fighting one unit, which the other one's getting a little bit of splash. Same with Nick. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we're going to see a hero showdown where we get another few levels on Nick and possibly Matt, because you can only use one in your base at a time, so it don't really matter. But all I can say is fingers crossed. Hopefully we're. I'm not saying that air should be ruling the game. This is where everyone's getting confused. I think air should be usable. The Screamer made it for me, especially that 80% tech. If they never introduced that, the 60% was working fine. I think the Screamer could have had a bit longer shelf life. But as it stands, how long we had the Screamer now for? 2 years? Must be pushing 2 years. I just hope it just needs to bring the balance back into the game. If there should have been anything that slowed down air, it should have been a turret, which was easier to kill. But they knew when they did the unit, they knew how much coin that fucking unit would make. Absolute gold mine. And it still is a gold mine, but not so much now with the Titan and Raptors. They've brought the game back to where I feel it's fairer for everyone. Don't get me wrong, I got flat by a level 42. I got flat, he used his Titan Proteus and spammed me with that and the Raptors, and there wasn't a lot I could fucking do. I'll be honest with you. Absolute nothing I could do. But it's the way the game is. So if especially a lot of these low levels that have been sitting on Blood Thorium for years, they're going to be able to max their units out. You know, this is why I think Kixeye should be quicker to introduce more ways to get Blood Thorium or just up the amount of Blood Thorium. If you're fighting with lesser units as a high, especially me, I think my Eldivats are 12 or 13. My Hellhounds are 16 or 17. My Titan's level 6. My Phantom's maxed, which I don't use no more. The Legion's maxed. The BFG's 8. What else we got? The Lavs, I think I took them to 13 over the course of the last Warpath. Bought all the tech, and they're absolutely dog pile. I hate them. But yeah, they need to introduce especially if they're going to speed up the turnover of legendary units. If we're going to see one every Warpath, every other Warpath, there needs to be more Blood Thorium freely available to us. And I have mentioned this before. I think they should bring back the 5 bases a week. You hit 5 bases a week, you get X amount of thorium with your Blood Thorium with your payout for the medals. It would make sense to me. It'd keep everyone doing PvP, even if they're doing 0-0 bases. It don't matter. It'll make people want to do PvP a little bit more, explore PvP. You want people to be curious about PvP, to then want to play it further, go further into the game. It's a little bit too expensive still, in my opinion, but I do understand there is some reductions on repair times from the War Factory, the airfield, and a barracks that give you quite a big reduction in repair time. So that might be key, and that's what I'm doing now, is War Factory next, airfield after that, barracks. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about the Screamer. Do you think it's high time it went, we got rid of it? Do you think it's a unit that you still love it, you still want it to be part of the game? Or you hated it from day one, pretty much day one like I did? I'd love to know your thoughts. I know it's a video I'm making my opinions. That's all it is. It's my opinions of the game. It doesn't mean everyone's got to agree with them. Fuck me. I know I don't agree with a lot of things that are going on in the game. So it is just opinions, guys. Remember that. Anyway, catch you later. Peace out.